Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and in this video I'm going to show you how to assemble this cute walrus pattern. Here's how to make him. Okay, this is the video showing how to assemble this walrus if you are using a light box. So first I'll show you my light box setup. I've got a lot of layers here. So I have my light box. I have it turned as bright as it'll go. I have a tempered glass cutting board. You do not need this. I use it because I like to iron right here on my light box. My ironing board is actually quite a ways from where I record. It's on the other side of my house. So I don't want to carry it and risk shuffling the pieces. So I just iron right here, and this allows me to iron right on the light box. I've got my placement guide, and I have a clear silicone sheet. I've got all of my pieces cut out and ready to go, and that means that I have them fused. I cut out the templates and fused them to the wrong side of my fabric. Just use whatever instructions are on your brand of fusible adhesive as far as fusing time and all of that, but I use Heat and Bond Light for all of my quilts. And then I cut it out on the solid line. The dotted lines you can ignore. Those are placement guides, and they are just there for people who are not using a light box, but you are. The only ones that you need to worry about, the lines, are these solid lines that are the eyelashes, and that's only if you want to give your walrus eyelashes. I am going to give my walrus eyelashes, so I'll show you how to do that. I just use a fine tip Sharpie, nothing fancy, and I lay this down on my light box so that I can see the light coming through the piece, and then I'm just going to trace right on those lines. And this will give me a line to stitch on when I'm doing all of my outline stitching. And it's okay that that's a permanent pen because I'm going to stitch over it with black thread, and so you just won't even see those lines. All right, now we're going to start with piece number 1 because the numbers tell you what piece is what and also tell you what order you're going to lay them down in. So we're going to start with piece number 1. And there we go. Now, piece number 2 is one of his eyes. I'll pull this up so you can see. See, the numbers are in there. They're identical, though. It really doesn't matter which eye goes where. If you have trouble seeing the lines through the fabric, just push it down enough, just tap it enough to make contact between the layers, and you'll be able to see those lines much more clearly through there. And now 4 is one of his tusks. Sorry, I've got some lint on there. So 4 is the tusk on this side, and 5 is the tusk on this side. Again, doesn't matter too much. I guess the tusks are not perfectly symmetrical. They mirror image each other. And then 6 is his snout. And on most walrus, the snout is a little darker than the rest of the body. So if you're trying to, even if you're using fantasy colors like I am here, I've got these orange. They do come in brown and gray. But if you're trying to make him look realistic, you'll want the snout to look darker than the body, and of course the tusks to be the lightest fabric of all. And then I can just see those lines through. Give him some little nostrils. All right, that all looks good. Now I'm going to fuse him in place. And I'm just going to do a quick tack. I'm not going to fuse the entire thing. I'm only going to fuse where there's overlapping pieces that I want to hold in place. So just usually 5 or 6 seconds is enough to just tack it in place. That is not enough for a permanent fuse, but it'll hold it for my purposes here. Give that just a second to cool. Peel that up, and we're going to put him on the block. So now he just acts like a big iron-on, and you can move him around. You can also audition different color backgrounds, which is always fun to be able to do. But I'm going to position him on the block, and I want to line this straight edge up with the raw edge at the bottom of the block. So I design almost all of my quilt patterns, I design what I call snapshot style. So I want it to look like I've snapped a photo of this walrus, but I've zoomed in on his face. So he has a body, it's just not showing up in the photograph. And if I just float it in the middle of the block, it's not going to give that effect. So I slide it down so that the raw edge at the bottom is lined up with the raw edge at the bottom of the block. And then I will fuse it in place down there so that when I sew all of the blocks together, this bottom raw edge is going to get caught in the seam allowance, and it'll give that illusion of a cropped photo. So he's lined up and ready to go. And now I'm going to fast forward through this because it is a longer fuse and I'm actually counting, and that is boring and you don't need that on a video. All right, so you may have noticed me moving the iron a little bit. I do that because there are divots in the bottom of the iron, and I have found that if you don't move it just a little bit while you fuse, those little spots where the dimples are on the bottom of your iron will not fuse properly. So give it just a little gentle wiggle while you're fusing. I hold it in place first just to kind of tack everything, and then I wiggle. So this is ready for me to take over to my sewing machine. I will do all of the outline stitching on it, and then I'll bring it back and I'll show you the finished block. And I'll also show you 2 other versions I made in different color combinations. All right, here is one finished walrus. So this one I made in fairly realistic colors on this. This is called Sea Glass, this background blender. This is a collection that I'm using, a color collection that I'm using for a bundle that I'm putting together of all the animals that you can find in the Alaskan national parks. But I have more colors. So here is a very, very bright and colorful walrus. And this one uses the optional eyelashes, so you can see what that looks like. It's important to know that both male and female walruses do have tusks. Male tusks tend to be a little bit bigger, but they both have tusks. So you'll always want to use the tusks with your walrus. And I've got one more color. This is for my Arctic collection that I'm putting together. So again, fairly realistic colors. These are a little bit more muted. But that is 3 different colors that I made of the walrus block. You can find that at shinyhappyworld.com. I'm Wendy, and I will see you next time.